Hello, it's Onoja Simeon, and this is Honey Drops from the Sages, the unveiling of the deep thoughts behind some of Africa's finest proverbs. Today, we'll be looking at an African proverb that says, "It is the same rain that fell on the sugarcane and made it sweet, that fell on the bitter leaf and made it bitter." But first, I would like to encourage you to just meditate on this proverb and let it speak to you in more personal terms. And while doing that, I will be discussing it from a reverse perspective where it is seen to mean that what happens to us is not enough to determine what becomes of us. The reality of life is that sometimes we get a rain of bitter punches, and I hope to show from the biographies of two people that it is possible to drag ourselves off the canvas of life and strive through to the sweet place of happiness. And the first is the story of Helen Keller, who lived a normal life until 19 months of age when a strange illness left her blind and deaf. This singular incident, as I can imagine, would have plunged Helen from an almost certain path to a very bright future to one paved with darkness and lit with silent gestures, all of which are positioned to ensure she hits a gloomy end. However, Helen Keller, armed with the invincible force within and supported by a teacher who herself was partially blind, ventured off on an impossible path against the tides of fate. She learned to feel objects and associate them with signals of finger spelling on her palm. She learned to read sentences by feeling raised words on cardboards. She would lip read by placing her fingers on the lips and throats of the speaker. At the age of 16, she got into college, and during her second year at college, she wrote the following words: "My first day at Radcliffe College was of great interest. Some powerful force inside me made me test my mind." Helen later graduated with a distinction, becoming the first deaf-blind person to earn a Bachelor of Arts degree. She published over 12 books and even won an Oscar for a documentary about her life. Her lecture tours took her several times around the world, and she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1964. Now, the second is the story of a man whose IQ of something between 190 and 210 has made some people to describe him as America's smartest man. In fact, some people described him as the smartest man in the world. Note that the IQ of an average human is about 100. So, armed with this reign of a rare gift, Christopher Langan started off on a path that should, without fail, lead to a life of, if not happiness, at least fame and affluence. And in his own very words, at the age of 6 and 7 months, I started pointing at objects and giving their correct names. At the age of 3 or 4, I started writing a book. He skipped grades and taught himself advanced maths, physics, philosophy, and foreign languages such as Latin and Greek. And it was reported that he earned a perfect score on the SAT despite taking a nap during the test. However, the latter part of his life is not one that even the greatest seer would have been able to predict from the trend above. He later dropped out of Montana State University because of a number of problems, one of which was a severe financial problem. At the last time I listened to him speak, these were the things he said about himself. He said, after doing hard labor for 20 to 25 years, it's going to take its toll. And finally, you are grateful to have a job where you just stand and watch most of the time. And by this, he meant his then job as a bouncer. And he added that if I can ever get out of it, he meant the job, then I'll be happy to do so. I will love it. I haven't considered these two abridged biographies. The catch, therefore, is that there is a creator within every human. And whatever rain life throws at us will, without fail, act in a direction defined by our inner form. This creator within us has the capacity to take whatever is without and forge it into tools that would work for us. All it needs is our permission. Let's quickly consider a few points that might help in this regard. Number one, we need to re-examine our sense of possibilities. And by this, I mean we need to put our beliefs to test. Number two, we need to change our beliefs so that they can support the attainment of our goals. Number three, we need to take advantage of the abundance of resources and information around us. We now live in an age where most answers are just a few clicks away or maybe a few questions away. And number 4 and the last, we have to build up physical, spiritual, and intellectual energy. It was Einstein who said the significant problems we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when we created them. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you got some value out of it, and I do look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.